Alright, so we can see that this rule for fraction addition is an interesting one, right? And some people are taught this way, that we can multiply the denominators together to get a common denominator. It's not necessarily the lowest. And then we just do a kind of cross multiply here. So let's go ahead and just automatically do that with this particular question. Now, of course, when we're adding two fractions together, we might actually think about doing this in a different way. And we might just say, well, how do I rationalize that denominator? How do I rationalize that denominator? Then we change this into a question, a regular fraction addition question, right? We're trying to think to change the fractions into ones with nice denominators. But this question specifically tells us that the final answer takes this shape and it has a certain denominator. So we're just going to go ahead and employ the algorithm. This times this, this times this, this times this. So let's go ahead and get to it. So this will be root 3, right, times by this guy, and I put this in brackets. Important to have a bracket, and then plus this 5 times this denominator. And that's all divided by the common denominator, which is just the two individual fractions. Grab their denominators and multiply them together. Okay, now I think on the top I'm going to do it by just my little curvy lines, right? I think I should be okay with this, so let me go ahead and try and do that now. So that's root 3 times root 3, which is 3. Root 3 times by 4, that's 4 root 3. Wasn't too bad. Then a positive 5 times 2 is 10, and then positive 5 times negative, that's negative 5 root 3. I think that's okay. And then the denominator, I could do the grid method again, but I think on this time I'm going to try and step away from the grid method and just maybe speed it up a little bit, because I think it's the first guy 2 times by the root 3, that's 2 root 3. 2 times by the 4 to give me positive 8. And then it's negative root 3 times root 3, so that would be negative 3, the roots and the roots undo each other. And negative 3 times by positive 4 is negative 4 root 3. Now, if that proved a bit confusing for you, don't worry, just go back to the grid method, right? Just get the grid on the top, 2 minus root 3. On the side, root 3, positive 4. Then go ahead and fill all the answers in the right place, right? This might be a little bit easier visually, I think. And then add all the pieces together, and you'll get the same answer. All right, so let's just move that out of the way for now. Very useful, all right, very useful. Okay, I have to just delete it, give myself some space. So let's just go carefully through the top line and the bottom line, and I'm going to just simplify by adding like terms. That's 3 plus 10 makes a 13, right? And then that's a positive 4 root 3. Oh, there's a negative 5 root 3, so that's overall negative 1 root 3. And of course, we don't need to put the negative 1, we just know it's a root 3. And on the bottom, we've got 2 root 3s. Are there any more root 3s? Minus 4 root 3s, so that's minus 2 root 3s. And there's a positive 8 and a negative 3, that's a positive 5. Mathematicians do like, if they can, to write the answers with a positive lead term. You can see the denominator, I could rewrite that as a 5 minus 2 root 3, and then if we check, we actually do match exactly the shape of the answer that they want from us.